Let me welcome you to my channel. Before we begin the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this post. One of Stephanie McMahon's first storylines as an on-screen character in WWE was a romance with former Intercontinental Champion Test. On the June 7, 1999 episode of Raw, the latter asked the billion-dollar princess out on a date, to which she agreed, signaling the start of their relationship. After several weeks together, the couple got engaged. However, Stephanie suffered from amnesia ahead of their wedding after accidentally getting hit in the head with a metal trash can thrown by the British Bulldog. The wedding was postponed as the billion-dollar princess could not remember her fiance. The storyline then witnessed Stephanie regaining her memory and proposing to Test inside the ring to confirm their reunion as the wedding went back on. Nevertheless, Triple H crashed the ceremony on the November 29 episode of Raw to reveal that he had married a drugged Stephanie at a drive-thru in Las Vegas. Despite Stephanie apologizing to Test on the following episode of SmackDown, the latter asked for time to think about what had happened. On the December 11 episode of The Blue Show, Test sat down with the billion-dollar princess to finally end his 6-month relationship with her. A crying Stephanie then took off her wedding band and gave it back to Test, apologizing to him, saying she never meant for any of that to happen. The former Intercontinental Champion told his ex-fiancée he would always care about her. As the two were about to kiss, they were interrupted by X-Pac. Although Stephanie McMahon initially sought to end her marriage to Triple H and asked him to sign an annulment, she later turned on her father, Vince McMahon, and sided with the game. The two became a power couple in the Stamford-based company for nearly 3 years before they had a messy breakup on WWE Raw. After Triple H returned from injury in early 2002, Stephanie claimed she was pregnant as she felt he was about to leave her. The couple then decided to renew their vows in a ceremony on WWE Raw. However, the game's mother-in-law, Linda McMahon, called him before he went out to the ring to inform him that her daughter was lying to him about her pregnancy. Instead of a romantic vow renewal ceremony, Triple H betrayed his wife, told her their marriage was over, and took out her father with a pedigree. Several years later, the billion-dollar princess picked that moment as her most memorable one on WWE Raw. Professional wrestling has always been known for its high-octane action, dramatic storylines, and larger-than-life personalities. But behind the curtain, the world of WWE is filled with real-life drama that often rivals the in-ring theatrics. One such tale involves the brief yet highly publicized relationship between WWE's most powerful woman, Stephanie McMahon, and an ex-WWE star who once had a romantic fling with the heir to the McMahon empire. This relationship, which lasted only 6 months, came to an end with the ex-WWE star famously saying, "It's best for everybody." Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of WWE chairman Vince McMahon, grew up in the world of professional wrestling. She was not only part of the family dynasty, but also one of the most recognizable faces of the company. From a young age, Stephanie became involved in WWE's creative side, and her on-screen persona quickly became integral to many of the company's most prominent storylines. But outside the squared circle, she was known for being fiercely intelligent, business-savvy, and loyal to her family. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, WWE was a hotbed of talent, with numerous up-and-coming superstars vying for the spotlight. Among these was a young, charismatic wrestler who caught the eye of Stephanie McMahon. Their relationship blossomed behind the scenes, with the pair spending time together on the road, traveling for shows, and connecting during the long hours that come with life on the WWE circuit. The ex-WWE star, whose name has often been shrouded in mystery or left unsaid due to the sensitivity of the situation, became close with Stephanie, and their romance seemed to be an exciting, if short-lived, chapter in their lives. However, dating Stephanie McMahon is not just dating any woman in the WWE. Being with the daughter of Vince McMahon came with its own set of pressures and complications. While the relationship might have started innocently enough, it didn't take long for people within WWE to take notice. Reports began circulating that there was unease backstage about the budding romance. Many wrestlers and employees were aware of how intertwined personal and professional relationships could become in the wrestling business, especially when the McMahon family was involved. Some within WWE viewed the relationship cautiously, fearing that if things went wrong, the fallout could negatively impact the wrestler's career, given Stephanie's position within the company. There was also the added pressure of Vince McMahon's looming presence. Vince, known for his control over nearly every aspect of WWE, was notoriously protective of his daughter. Any romantic interest in Stephanie would undoubtedly attract his scrutiny, especially if the relationship seemed to distract from WWE's business or became fodder for rumors and gossip backstage. As time went on, tensions reportedly began to build. The spotlight on the relationship didn't help, as some speculated that the wrestler's growing closeness to Stephanie might affect his standing with other superstars, many of whom feared favoritism or resented the connection. WWE was always a highly competitive environment, and any perceived edge could create animosity. After 6 months, the romance came to an abrupt end, with the ex-WWE star making a decision that he later said was best for everybody. In interviews after the breakup, the wrestler expressed that the pressures of dating someone with Stephanie's stature within WWE were overwhelming. There were constant expectations, and it became increasingly difficult to separate personal feelings from professional obligations. The decision to end the relationship, according to the wrestler, was not one that came lightly. He had developed genuine feelings for Stephanie, but the reality of the situation, her familial ties to WWE, the inevitable involvement of her father, and the challenges of maintaining such a relationship in such a public and cutthroat environment, led him to conclude that it was better to end things amicably before they spiraled out of control. In a candid moment, he reportedly told Stephanie that their relationship, while fun and meaningful, was too complicated to continue. He believed that breaking things off would allow both of them to focus on their careers and avoid any potential drama that could arise from the personal and professional overlap. "It's best for everybody," he said, and with that, their brief romance came to a quiet, albeit bittersweet end. Following the breakup, both Stephanie McMahon and the ex-WWE star went their separate ways. While the ex-WWE star continued his wrestling career, it was clear that his decision to end the relationship had a significant impact on his path. He never fully reached the heights of stardom that many had predicted for him, though whether this was related to the breakup or simply the natural ebb and flow of a wrestling career remains speculative. As for Stephanie McMahon, the end of the relationship didn't hinder her trajectory in the slightest. She continued to rise through the ranks of WWE, eventually becoming Chief Brand Officer and an integral part of WWE's global expansion. Shortly after her relationship with the ex-WWE star ended, Stephanie began dating Paul Levesque, better known by his in-ring name Triple H. The two became one of the most powerful couples in professional wrestling, both on screen and off-screen. In 2003, they married and have since built a family together, further cementing their legacy in the world of sports entertainment. The story of Stephanie McMahon and the ex-WWE star is a classic example of how difficult it can be to balance romance and career, especially in the high-pressure world of WWE. For the ex-WWE star, the decision to end things with Stephanie wasn't just about protecting his career, it was about maintaining his own identity and sanity in an environment where personal relationships are constantly scrutinized.